and you talk about ways to help deal with this Morphling pick on the other side. Certainly a couple of possibilities that are brought to the table. Now, Beastmaster is going to be annoying for Nouns. Beastmaster and that offlane role. They don't necessarily have the greatest ways to deal with the Beastmaster at this time, so understandable why Team Secret was very confident with that fourth pick, BM, coming out shortly after the draw lion combo. So I gotta say the Secret's lineup is definitely shaping up as you'd expect pretty nicely here.
Yeah, they've actually just gone two strat, right? Beastmaster Enchantress. Damn, I remember those days. Can I refund this game right now? I don't know. I feel like the only people who enjoyed those days were the people picking the zoo. And right now, I'm a little bit worried about the wave clear for Nouns, actually, because outside of the Pango, they don't have the best way to clear, and arguably even the Pango might struggle to get through everything.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, a hero that kind of popped in my head, it's like, well, what could they possibly go Chen here? But no, it's way too late for that. Chen did get that nerf recently as well, so I highly doubt that's going to be even a thought at this point for the side of Nouns, but you look at Puppy talking it over with his team as far as what direction they're looking to finish off this game. We are going to see the Pudge ban on the side of Nouns for the time being, though. So, yeah, again, Morphling where he ends up is still to be determined. Could be Nisha, could be 5 seconds remaining. Chrysalis, as we talked about, but
yeah,
who does Nouns finish with here? They need probably an offlane, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they could need an offlane. I mean, maybe they want to run Undying Free. We've already seen that today from T1, and it looked pretty damn good. So they have a little bit of flex. They do need some tower push, right? They could try to delay the game and allow the draft to do that later, but if they're looking for earlier timings, would be valuable to have. Kind of feels like the heroes they've drafted, they want to bully the lane a little bit. I think Secret are a lot stronger post-laning phase here. Like, they've got kind of a 15-20 minute push timing that would be really spooky for Nouns as it stands.
Doom is coming up as a possibility for Nouns. It, feels like his Devour ability certainly could be pretty good this game. And in general, the Doom itself against Morphling, really good, right? So there is still one more ban to come for Secret. So that's maybe going to be on that list of perhaps to ban. But that's one that's standing out for me, at least.
Yeah, the only thing that make me a little bit hesitant is how annoying Nyx makes your game, because you can't Scorched Earth, right? Sure. It's just one of those heroes that you very much struggle to get in if there's a Nyx lurking in the shadows. So maybe that'll be a deterrent for them. Dawnbreaker ban is actually really good here. I think the issue you run into is the ability to kind of backstab with the Nyx. It's actually really spooky, because if Nyx goes in on the Drow, you can immediately follow up the Dawnbreaker. And I definitely think Team Secret are looking for another hero that can just go in and commit.
Yeah. And a very active one at that. And so certainly she would have filled all those roles right there. I go back to like a Vengeful Spirit for Secret. It could be interesting too. And I know I brought that up earlier, but it would kind of complete that 4-1 strategy. Have the Morphling mid, could be the Vengeful as a safe lane core and just a lot of aura presence. Minus armor, obviously good, nice as well. Always the save of the swap, or dare I say initiation, on somebody like a Drow Ranger. Nice tool to have. So yeah, possibilities there, but
okay,
no Doom effect coming into play. It's going to be Lycan.
Yeah, that solves their push issue though, right? So I quite like this. They've taken a little bit of Zoo away. I don't think Team Secret necessarily thinking Lycan themselves, but it gives them the ability to kind of trade on pushes. And I think the goal now for Nouns is they're going to try to play around Lycan split push potential, gank maybe the Pango and the two supports, and make space for the Drow to farm. Because we saw earlier today, Drow is actually a really good solution to Morphling as the game goes on, courtesy of the Akshard. But it's getting past that early teething phase of the game. And what I'd love to see out of Team Secret is a tempo setter, some sort of hero that can gank rotate. Spirits do come to mind. Ember's already been banned out. Storm, not the greatest here. Maybe something like a Void Spirit could work for Team Secret.
Yeah, I think Void Spirit is certainly always a just solid option, if anything.
Yeah. It's a good filler, right? Like, if you don't have something that is going to dominate and you just need something to tick a box, he does it.
Well, they're going to find out very soon here what Secret will end up with.
Oh!
Okay. One we didn't say. Slardar coming out.
That's pretty nice here, actually. That's another form of initiation. So we mentioned they needed a hero that goes in. This, compared to the Void Spirit, it can go in, it can't necessarily get out, but it provides stun and actually escalates really spookily with the Beastmaster in the comp.
Yeah, it again, that's it fills a similar role to the idea of that Vengeful that I was talking about, where it's a very go-getter kind of position one that is going to be ready to fight earlier on, right? And of course, the minus armor happens to provide that as well. Certainly a tool that really everyone, especially the Morphling and the Beastmaster, will be able to benefit from too. So I like the honestly resolution. It feels like he's setting up to have a very good game though on this Beastmaster. Even with the Lycan pick, it's still like okay, not necessarily. In fact, with his Primal Roar lockdown against a Lycan who's in that shapeshift, a nice tool to have too, right? So this Beastmaster, I think, is going to be a big factor and difficult to deal with for Nouns.
I think the offlane for Nouns is going to be difficult as well because they're going to be up against a Slardar and Enchantress. That's slows plus bash, and Lycan isn't. I don't know if you noticed this, Breaky. Kind of a revolutionary thing. Never been seen before, but Lycans don't wear boots because when they shapeshift, the boots would tear, right? So why would you even buy them? No. And it means that you can easily be ran down at the start of this lane. I think Z-Freak's going to have his work cut out.
Yeah, Z-Freak on the line, and which is by the way is certainly not the most picked support hero that we're seeing, but obviously picked up here for the side of Nouns and going to get some finger of death action throughout this game, but of course picking him up more for that crowd control as I talked about specifically against the Morphling at the time. But yeah, we'll see what kind of true impact he's able to have. It's going to be a Drow Ranger carry though, of course, for the side of Nouns. And is that enough? I mean, yes, decent in the Morphling matchup, but I still go back to this Beastmaster. Gonna have a hell of a time, and that Slaughter also more reason why they should be feared him, because you have the back line of the Drow, but Slaughter with the blink, I'm sure we're going to be seeing, is going to jump back there. That's going to be his focus target, right? Especially with the BKB, the Gust is essentially going to be useless. It's going to be tough times ahead for Nouns.
Yeah, I guess secret all Costa Bile fans, because it looks like a draft that can easily pile on top of him. Let's see if the Drow can be that X factor. Late game against the Morph, pretty effective, but you got to get there first. And there's no denying that Team Secret this draft in game one are looking to go very gung-ho around the 20-minute mark.
Momentum, violence.
Okay, I think we need an admin. Someone's keyboard is not working.
So keyword's not working. Let's get the pause. No, that's hopefully a clever line there. And there's some tipping. All right, so this series is a little more lively. But again, our first two series weren't necessarily that lively when it came to the tipping and the spamming of the emails. But this one already starting off strong. Secret versus Nouns. Love to see it.
I'd have it no other way, Breaky. You know, I need, it's TI. It's not TI if you're not spamming voice lines. I'm sure as we get towards the main event, we're going to see a lot more of it coming out. But man, I was really surprised that when we had T1, like 2 members of the 2-time winning OG roster.
True.
Not once.
That's a good point. I was going to say, you know, when we see OG specifically, I'm sure that's going to be happening plenty. But yeah, that's like on Thompson. Wasn't really different vibes, I guess.
I think it's like you can tell that Seb and No-Tail were the guys saying spam voice lines whenever they're playing, right? Because it's almost like without those guys there reminding them, they're just like too focused in on playing the game.
Understandable. All right. Pretty slow banner in action there as it's a 2-for-2. But into the lanes we go, being developed. It's going to be Zayak down here. This Nyx Assassin cosmetic, by the way. This is some creepy stuff going on.
I mean, they're all creepy, right? Like almost every single Nyx set is creepy.
Extra.
Good God. I honestly like that's what happens when the alien from the Alien movies and Cthulhu have a love child. It's not pretty.
No, it's not.
All right, that's a nightmare no one wants.
Beastmaster coming to the bottom lane, by the way. So yeah, so definitely some lane swaps happening.
Well, they have to dodge it. Like, there's no way you're playing Slardar versus a Drow Ranger. You'll never reach your target, and you'll slowly lose the lane. This way, you can at least toss axes out. You can maybe poke and probe a little. It's also just you don't want to be near the Undying, especially when you're playing Slardar. Then you can't kill the tool.
Costabile is going to immediately start arrowing the Nyx Assassin as he got close, so taking the Nyx Assassin, doing some counter warding in the meantime, or getting rid of the one that was blocking his own camp. So yeah, the lane adjustments early on in the game, and Not going to see reaction from here on out, though. Kind of committing to it at this point. Nouns insisting on keeping the aggressive lane of the Drow Ranger, because obviously if she wants to go top, then you would simply see Secret respond as well. So
yeah, the classic musical lanes. And it's tough because you can't walk either, right? At this stage, it's way too late. Even if you tried, you've got a Lycan here that moves at 305 movement speed. You've got a Drow that moves at 300. It's not going to be fast. Oh, but this kill might be. Jump in. Tombstone gets dropped as well. Rezo will make it into the tree line. Barely, though.
Yeah, it's quite the commitment right there, using that Tombstone. Try to make that kill happen, but not going to be the case. And now the question is, can they maybe try to kill this Tombstone for some bounty? But it's not going to happen. It's dead in 10 seconds. You see them pinging it out, but Resolution, he's not going to be able to get close enough to take it out. So it's going to go away.
Yeah, Rezo's just going to, like, suck up the punch to the face here, right? Like, someone had to do it. If you look at their draft, nobody really wants to lane against the Drow. So he, I wouldn't even say drew the short straw. He just realizes the win condition isn't him. And meanwhile, top lane, in theory, Moo should begin to suffer just as much as Chrysalis gets a few levels on the Slardar.
Yeah, and speaking of that, 13-5 here on the Slardar currently, 8-2 on the Lycan. So Slardar is absolutely having the better of this. And Puppey support is certainly to thank for that as well. A hero that we've been seeing Puppey play quite a bit of, especially lately, and currently has that Mind Stealer. So the Mana Bird assisting to the harassment, as he's also going to take out the Wolves. So yeah, Puppey making this lane extra difficult for Nouns to deal with. Well, that's a change of support for you.
It's definitely a hard hero to mana burn, though, right? You know, like, long-term, it's not a great solution against the line, but overall, definitely kind of equaling out the trades. This is where things start to kind of switcheroo, where Chrysalis isn't just a baby crying for help anymore. He's a child picking fights on the playground. He's got level 2 bash. He's got his boots already. Moo is going to have to give a lot of respect at this stage.
Yeah, and I was definitely curious to see what kind of build Chrysalis is going to go for. We see him queue up that Mask of Madness. Understandable there. It's both bottom lane. Here's an engagement once again with the Tombstone, but just like before, it's not going to really result in too much. They do kill one of the boars, but Resolution not overly concerned about that. He wants these last hits, and he's going to keep going for them. But now Husky, Impale, you'll see Nyx Assassin is also trying to kill them off. So this is all about killing neutrals right here. Oh, maybe not Nyx Assassin.
Oh, the Spike Carapace was so close. Less than a second until it was going to come off cooldown. Not bad considering how underwhelming these Tombstones have been so far. However, a trade happens at the top lane as they do punish Moo and his laning side, right? He gets rid of the core, he gets the line as well. And I mean, my concern now, Breaky, is you reach a point in this lane where you use the Lycan. Typically, when you don't want to be on the lane, you just go jungle and you give it to a support. I don't feel like either support wants to sit on this lane or can.
No, that's the key. It's they just simply can't, because they would get run down easily and killed. So it's, you don't just want to give those kills, of course, to the Slardar. By the way, that courier snipe, not only big for just taking out the courier for the time being, but there were the boots on it of Lycan, so those boots are that much longer delayed now for him. So yeah, not the greatest of circumstances for Moo especially up at this top side of the map. And I say top side because yeah, currently in the jungle even. But bottom lane, it's just more back and forth. Harassment continues. No surprise there. Costability is the key, though. He's getting the farm on the Drow.
Poppy. He got surrounded there, but it looks like it might be able to back away. I think he just get beyond the walls. 380 movement speed is just too fast for him, though. I think he knows he's going to die. What he's going to do, though, is waste as much of Nouns' time as is possible. And even farm. And he's even farming it.
Oh, almost got it.
One more. Nah, he got it. Still space. Slardar was just farming this whole time. So while Lycan's now level 4, just look at the difference. Chrysalis is getting very close to 6. At which stage, nobody can come in this lane. I don't think at that stage you can even rotate the Drow up. It's just too scary.
Yeah, it's that in itself can certainly be a risk. And again, Costability, he's at least getting some solid farm. But, you know, what are they to make of this farm that this Drow Ranger is having in the earlier game as we're pushing the 6-minute mark? And speaking of that, rotations are anti. He's going to scout things out, run by the Undying, as has that Impale to use to go for this rune if need be. There's the Impale.
Holy freak.
Top, though.
He's gone. And they even get the haste as well. That's stinging because Gunnar is actually suffering now. Look at the CS differential. It's getting pretty big. And also Gunnar is under heavy Gunnar fire here. 300 HP. He can't easily defend his lane. And every support that comes here to help is helping the way that I do in my games.
Oh, that's so bad because, yeah, that's a free tombstone kill as well. Oh, that sucks for the side of Nouns. This Morphling just became extra massive. That's not what you want to hear if you're Nouns. But Nisha feeling good, and apparently there's more kills to be had. Z-Freak, he's just dead in the backlines, and now Gunnar might be in trouble. Nisha going in for this. Another adaptive strike is not enough for the kill. He's going to kill up. Thanks to the bottle charges, but how does he get out of this?
I mean, he needs a Rolling Thunder, but he gets tapped once, he's dead. He used the Rolling Thunder as well. All right, this is a catastrophe for Nouns.
Yeah, no, this I don't know what to say. It's just Nouns is, they really are falling apart. But I mean, on the other side of it, it's Secret is, this is, you know, they've been here before, right? This is much more experienced team in general. You got to think maybe a little bit of nerves coming out from Nouns. It's understandable with what is on the line here and everything. But yeah, Secret just starting to roll over Nouns at this point. And what do they do to stop this Morphling? More specifically, the Sarda. Again, that's I think the biggest issue that Nouns is really going to be concerned about. This Sardar, not about the Beastmaster, but you see right here, he's just going to bully the Drow at the top lane, and now they're going to get kill line again. Z-Freak. Okay, never mind. He's actually
barely gets away though. And now the concern is, we said, if you have to bring the Drow up here at this stage, she's not comfortable. So now your Drow's not having a game. Your Lycan isn't really having a game. We probably shouldn't ever mention the Pangolier again. Who recovers this? It almost feels like Nouns are going to be forced into a very early, like, rotate 4-5 heroes move that either gets them back in the game or puts them completely out of contest.
Don't put down at the tower. It's going to help secure the kill on Nick's assassin. So a much needed kill for Gunnar. We'll put it that way. Yeah, until we started really talking about this mid lane here, I didn't even notice how much Nisha was dominating that mid lane. But I feel like that shouldn't happen, right? Like it seems like it should have been a bit closer, but it is Nisha after all.
Yeah, not to be that guy that hits the report button too quickly, but typically when supports rotate to my lane, I expect kills, not feeds. And Nisha is off to a great start here. 2 kills, 1 assist. Brilliant on the CS side of things, right? Second place only behind his own carry, Slardar. Great start for Secret. I think for Nouns, we're seeing that play I talked about. They're smoking up, and interesting play here. They're looking to utilize Costa Bile on the Drow. Not someone you really say at 9 minutes in the game.
Well, especially when she doesn't have her Gust yet, and I'm not saying that's surprising considering, you know, especially the game state. But yeah, going for a gank, smoke gank without an ability that would certainly help secure a gank. You got to question it a little bit. But at the bottom lane,
who's ganking who? Who's ganking who here?
Here comes the turn. Yeah.
Is Z-Freak's gone? I don't know how it gets much worse than this, Breaky. I mean, this is worse. Lycan's going down as well. Rolling Thunder's too late. I mean, this was the move for Nouns, and this lead is about to snowball for Secret.
Yeah, Shapeshift diving a tower, pretty risky circumstance, but you can tell they're already feeling the pressure. Consequently, is going to manage to TP out. Nisha, I don't think more kills are to be happening as finally.
Oh my God, Puppy!
But
Puppy, don't do it to him.
Oh no.
Okay, the Wild Wing Ripper is running out. That was about to be a solo kill against the POS 1 with the POS 5. Instead, it's going to be a kill on the POS 5.
All right, that's some positive, certainly, but the bottom tier 1 being pressured. Yeah, it kind of goes back to that, though, right? Again, you could really feel that Nouns is already desperate. When they're making a play like that, they understand that this laning phase has just gotten completely out of control. They got to try for a pretty YOLO play, and that's exactly what that was. So in that mindset, I certainly get, but the percentages of that play working out right there was certainly very low, and it did not work out. Now, I will say it didn't maybe backfire as much as it could have, but that's just kind of being a glass half full kind of guy kind of statement there, I suppose. It's still a massive lead for Secret, and they just do not have an answer for this Morphling, especially.
Yeah, the glass is half full, but it might as well be full of vodka to make you feel better at this stage. It's a rough game, and going back to that bot fight, I mean, it's very different if they have Shapeshift and Rolling Thunder, but that was the difference maker. They made that rotation. Rolling Thunder wasn't there in place. They essentially just used their abilities one by one, and, you know, I'm not going to try to oversimplify Dota. It's a very complicated game, but usually when you use your abilities together, you get better outcomes for fights. And let's just say that Nouns is in a situation where they can't afford to hold back anything in these fights.
Yeah, and this Slaughter, man, Mask and Madness, he's already 1,400 gold saved up, so a BKB is well in the works.
He got Lance of Pursuit as well, which is actually disgusting on this hero. So you get the Corrosive Haze, you get the Water Down, you chase with Guardian Sprint, and then they're going to have to run away from you because you're a Slardar ahead. Sure. So you're just dying even quicker and running even slower.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good. Great neutral item to have in that inventory. And Chrysalis picking up the top lane as far as you got Puppy up here using that Centaur. 7 seconds remaining on the Centaur, so wants to try to use it on something, but not going to happen. But mid lane, it's just going to be Nisha beating down the tower, and not much Nouns can do about it. That's never a good feeling when you kind of just have to sit there and watch the other team destroy your tower in front of you at this early on in the game. But pretty much where we're at, and Nisha take the next creep wave. He's already got his Dragonlance, and a lot of progress being made there. But yeah, the BKB on Slaughter, that's the okay. Well, what do you do? In fact, he might actually go for a blink first, which I actually I can see other direction, honestly, but because either item is going to be a massive pickup for Secret. Dare I say, take even more control this game.
Yeah, I kind of expect a BKB just because they've got some elements of catch, right, to initiate with, and I think it's this idea that you can chase. Like, you should be able to get close enough. But in the meantime, mid lane, Nisha does get the morph off, so not an easy kill. And Primal Roar, it says sit, doggy, sit. Gunnar can only watch as his ultimate feels completely wasted. You get nothing again.
What did I say about the Beast? I mean, this Beastmaster, we haven't even really been talking too much about him. Beastmaster, the Primal Roar, is an amazing tool this game. They did not have any answers for this Beastmaster either, and the Primal Roar lockdown, very significant. I talked about the shape, wasn't even thinking about Pango as we saw right there, so... And they're just doing Roshan now, by the way, as Team Secret. This is a free Roshan kill. It's going to be very quick with that, thanks to that Haze. That's an Aegis. Who did they give this to? Did they give this to Slaughter? No, probably not.
I think they give it Slaughter.
No, they did,
like,
yeah.
Morphling, outside of Lion, there's nothing to stop Morphling from surviving gank attempts, right? And this Lion, it's not like he's going to be blinking on you anytime soon, right? Not with how poor Nouns are at this stage of the game.
He did go to Blink, by the way, on Slaughter, so he has that tool. Is, of course, going to go to BKB next. It's just a matter of what he got first, so... Going to try to make a play here with that Aegis.
There's a DD as well. I don't think they know about it. That's the only upside right now for Nouns. Oh, psych! They've discovered it. So the reason, by the way, he goes to the Blink is because they got Aegis. This is a cool play that you carries can kind of like note down is if you think you can go for Roche in the next few minutes and you're close to having enough for 1 or 2 components to BKB versus Blink, see if you can get Roche. If you can get Roche, no way you're building BKB first.
Sure. Makes sense. Oh, wow. Next assassin you saw right there. The Gust comes out and pops that spiked Carapace. That's damage right there.
Yep. He hits hard. He hits very hard at this stage. I mean, it's 200 damage per tap. Then there's the bash damage on top of that. So before you even tap out the Corrosive Haze. And let's keep in mind that a lot of the heroes on Nouns don't exactly have that much armor. You know, you look at the Lycan, he's got 11 total. The Pango's only 10. Lion miraculously has 10. This poor little Undying has free armor against Slaughter.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, minus 15 armor, pretty good tool to have. And they've taken over the Dire jungle. That's happened many times already this game, but that's exactly what you can do. Again, Z-Freak, that's that Z-Freak? Yeah, right, maybe?
Spike Carapace was weighted out perfectly.
Never mind.
Somehow he lives.
I mean, really, the summit is just they did not want to overcommit, which is understandable, I suppose, from Secret. They have a massive lead. They're not just going to throw themselves at that now. So you lose your support, not the end of the world there, but Secret lives. So there's some good news for them. Got a Helm of the Overlord's almost finished though on resolution, by the way. You know, this Beastmaster, so already high impact, going to get that much stronger. Oh, there's a scan that hits.
Speaking of which. First you don't succeed, maybe go again. Beastmaster being brought low. Rezo doesn't get a chance to throw out the Primal Roar. Great reaction with the finger. Means Gunnar gets to party hard on top of Zayat. Fresh out of the fountain and straight back to where he came from.
Okay. You know what? Couple of solid kills, honestly, for Nouns. And the Finger of Death, I think that's the first time we've even seen it use this game, but big one coming out from Z-Freak to secure that kill on the Beastmaster, so slowing down that Helm of the Overlord, as I just mentioned. But we also see that the Diffusal Blade that was picked up by Pango. Of course, a good start for him in terms of having some bigger impact in this game, and a Hurricane Pike now finished as well on the Drow. When you see the Shroud, or the Shard, excuse me, queued up. After that, I know we saw that in the earlier series. Going to be just as useful this game potentially, so a good item to have, but we'll see how impactful.
Yeah, it's actually a really good item to pick in this game. I mean, it's good in most games. I feel like this is a really great shard they created for this hero. But if you think about the heroes on Nouns side, they're designed to draw tension away from the Drow and also kind of protect her, right? You've got the Pangolier, who's got the stuns, got the disarms, you've got the Undying that can clutch save you with the heals, as well as drop the Tombstone to slow down pursuits. And of course, a line, we know exactly what this guy's capable of to defend you. Stuns, hexes, it's all there. So there should be these prolonged engagements where Costabile is essentially able to just stand there and keep poking nonstop. There is still a big question mark on positioning, right? Like, if you aren't all in the correct position immediately, I do feel like your Drow dies to this draft in about 2 to 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yes, that's the continuous issue that Nouns is going to have throughout this game. But hey, we saw in that previous fight, if they get a good jump, specifically with that Lion, who's got nearly 1,600 gold saved up. So Lion's Blink Dagger is actually becoming a reality.
Wow.
Believe it or not, despite the early struggles. Yeah, I mean, it's heavy priority. He only has Tranquil Boots, but hey, a Blink will be a big pickup for the Lion, and
yeah,
good play factor.
I mean, you're a Lion. What else do you need? You don't need to worry about regen. You've got your Tranks and, oh, mana? I don't know what that is. How do supports have issues with mana? Why not just stick a Straw in a creep? Ah, man, I miss those YouTube videos. Oh,
Which ones?
The Dota Reporter ones.
Oh.
Really, really big shout out to Rongchi. Amazing work he used to do for Dota 2.
Ogre Frostmage, by the way, taken over by Enchantress, using that to buff up, gives a nice armor bonus to teammates. They have an Ancient Black Dragon as well now to fight with, thanks to Resolution. And that Helm of the Overlord we were talking about earlier. Aegis has worn out, but Slaughter was busy trying to farm this BKB. It's not here yet, but we have a jump potential. Gunnar.
Tumbler Toy gets him in, stun, but no follow-up. But that's squeaky bum time right there. Gunnar is still very vulnerable in this game, having only a Diffusal and a Plate Mail that doesn't even offset the ultimate Slaughter.
Well, smoke out from Nouns, the 3 of them, Drow included. Does have Gus now, it's level 1, but has the Frost Arrows as well, as we talked about with that Shard. And they're trying to wait out this Lycan, trying to bait him out, I should say, here at the bottom landing. Could get something, it's only Enchantress though, and she'll take the creep.
Now that is what we call a history of bad experiences. When you see an Enchantress, you've got 4 heroes here, you're like, do we dive her? And then through their minds, they're getting all the flashbacks. Similar to like Undyings, you just don't do it. You don't know what's behind that. You don't know how long it's really going to take you. It's not worth it.
And to top it all off, the yoink from Enchantress takes the creep of Lycan there, so adding insult to injury there, I suppose. But yeah, we're back to daytime as we hit 20 minutes. And how about Nisha? Where's his progress been on this Morphling? He's got a Dragon Lance, a Manta Style, queuing up the Ags. I believe we just bought at least one of the components for it, so that's well on its way as well. But the BKB finished on Slaughter. Talked about that.
Actually, yeah, I just realized what they're doing here. You turn into the Lycan and then you spit on the Slaughter.
There you go.
And everyone dies.
Wow, that's actually a good point.
That's actually disgusting. I just realized it's actually vile in this game. I mean, you're going to have BKB. You'll have more than enough time with Zoom movement speed to just get on top of the Drow. The only upside is, I believe, I'm pretty sure Shapeshift is a fixed movement speed, so you can't use Guardian Sprint to exceed it. But I look forward to being proven wrong.
I mean, either way, that's going to be fun to watch, at least from our perspective, if that's truly where they are going for it. Part of me is almost like, is that even necessary, though? It just almost seems like overkill at that point. But that is certainly a potential that we can see here. The morphing into Lycan and fighting his teammate. So, but for right now, the posturing of Secret is that of we're kind of just taking away most of the map from Nouns, and understandably so. They have an 8,000 net worth lead. Nouns is trying to really protect this Drow and doing some dewarding in the process. But again, Drow just doesn't feel like there's that item that's coming that's like, okay, you know, Drow's going to get this item. Now she's online, right? It's still a long ways before Drow is going to be a true threat in this game for the side of Nouns. And that's nothing against Costability. It's just the unfortunate circumstance of the draft in this game and how it's really playing out right now, favoring Secret so heavily.
Sure, it's like that person that takes a gap year in college, and that gap year is 10 years long, and the parents are like, so do you know what you're going to do with your life now? And for the Drow, it's like, so do you know when you're going to be able to like support this family? Do you know when you're going to be able to carry us through the hard times? Costabila's like, I'm working on it, you know, I've got a great idea for a venture startup. I just need starting capital. We're in the range of 20K. Oh, gosh.
That's Pango.
Was Pango.
That's Pango with a Lotus Orb. Yeah, was Pango. That's, God, he just melted.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it feels like his build is now just pivoting to support Costabile. The problem that we're kind of getting here now is Costabile is being put further on this big kind of podium. But what happens when you take out the foundations? You know, if the Drow is your house, everything around it is the foundations. If you pull them down, the house don't work. That was possibly the worst way to describe houses.
I love the shard choice, by the way, on Slaughter. In fact, he actually just picks it up from Roshan there. Yeah, he had it queued up to buy, but manages to, or yeah, happens to just pick it up from the Roshan instead, so he can instead work towards that Assault Kyros. But the shard on Slaughter, having that Slithering Crush, you know, applying that haze as well. I mean, that's a massive tool. We talk about the minus armor and the impact it is bound to have is certainly high value. So, yeah, but again, this is Secret. They're a very experienced team, and where I'm getting at is they're not overdoing it. You know, I feel like a lot of teams in this case with the leads that they have this earlier on lead, they would really try to push the issue, you know, get aggressive, kind of almost get lost in the fun of it. But Secret, they're still playing it very disciplined, but we got a big fight now.
Oh, yeah, they're going to try to initiate Nisha. That's not the opening you're really looking for here. They do stop him getting the waveform off initially. However, this may be the most underwhelming Rolling Thunder so far. Actually, maybe not. There was that one in the lane where he insta-died. This one, at least baited them in a little bit. Prime Roar is going to come out. Lycan, stuck in the middle of a mess he wants no part of. Nouns are going to get ran down. There is no answer to any of Team Secret's scores.
Look at those zombies. I mean, the Tombstone was a great placement in the end. I was going to say they were fighting away from it, but they ended up going back towards the Tombstone on the high ground. So I was like, okay, maybe he's shot here for Nouns. It didn't matter. I mean, even with the horde of zombies all around, Secret just literally ignored them. They went for the heroes, and that proved to be the right decision there. And that truly is a classic case, though, of one team just being so far ahead in this game.
Yeah.
The net worth at this point that they didn't need to necessarily play perfectly. They can play into things like that Tombstone and the placement it was, and still feel confident that they're going to come out on top as they did. Yeah, this Morphling able to even keep the Aegis. He is going to have the Ags finished here in about 500 gold. And then we're going to see not only that combo potential, but just in general, the Ags effect taking place.
Exactly, which is what we saw. Like you mentioned the Tombstone on one side, it was on both sides as well, right? Like Morphling decided to morph into the Undying, which makes him, actually it's kind of a cool idea. So he can keep shifting into Agi and remain pretty tanky. And on top of that, he has the Tombstone to play with, which just offsets any sort of movement speed mouse you get affected by. Top lane though, Slardar getting ambitious.
Lotus Orb purging off for Zfreak, allowing him to get away. You talk about Gunnar with that Rolling Thunder, going to go for the TP play and will be successful. Meanwhile, Moo also able to escape, and so is Zfreak. So that engagement results in no kills for the side of Secret, but they're just a quick resetting team. This isn't a team that's relying a lot on big cooldowns. You know, this isn't that Enigma presence that we talked about in the previous series. This is a team that can constantly keep going, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The quick reset, they're now pushing into the top lane. They're going to the face. What do you do if you're now involved? That helped, but oh my gosh, Drow Ranger
no,
getting stunned to Lotus Sword. The proper Roar locking down himself, but so is Drow.
They're going to chase out Gunnar. He doesn't have the wrong Thunder anymore. This is the problem. Like, Nyx gets a bit ambitious there. But because they keep expending these ultimates in precarious situations, they never have the follow-up to get the big kills that maybe could get Nouns back into this game.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those funky moments of resolution. Just kind of accepting the fact that he's going to stun himself with his own Primal Roar, trying to keep Drow in place. But yeah, it's a little too much of a dive. I don't know if they were just on different pages with him and the other cores, or proved to be too much to handle. But either way, this kind of goes back to the point I was talking about before too, where Secret's just disciplined. This is not a team that you're going to see overextend too often in a lot of games like this, where frankly many other teams would, it seems like. So they understandably fall back, and they're just going to continue to absorb more of the map control. And bottom lane, they're setting up here.
Yeah, as I like to put it, you remain disciplined, or Puppy gives you the stick. He seems like a guy who'd be willing to beat you with the stick. Okay, that's not fair on him. Well, then though, stuns come out. That's a good damn kill, and they get it quickly.
Okay. Yeah, big kill on a Slaughter. Z-Freak's going to lose his life in response, but it's certainly a trade that you're happy with if you're Nouns. And well, that was thanks to the positioning of Gunnar on the Pango. And I know he had a big struggle early on in this game, but honestly, these rolling thunders, yes, there's been some funky ones, some pretty bad ones, not going to oversell it, but there's been a couple of really good ones, and that was certainly one of them to set up that kill on the Slaughter. Now, Husky gets picked up elsewhere, not the end of the world if you're Nouns, especially with where we're at, but Aegis is going to be reclaimed in a couple of seconds, and that's just more of an inventory slot that Morphling could use for something else, though.
Yeah, so to your point on the Rolling Thunder, I agree. That was Gunnar's best Rolling Thunder so far. Admittedly, the standard wasn't high, but which I like, right? When the standard is low, it's easy to exceed. Now Gunnar, that was popping. Like if he can actually find that confidence, if he can exceed that one, I can see them starting to take team fights, but this is not the way to start it.
Yeah, getting Primal Roared immediately.
Oh my god, he's still alive.
He manages to stay alive. The Lotus Orb, he's good.
Wait.
Oh, never mind.
Why did you say it, Breaky? Why did you say he's good?
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad, Gunnar. My bad. Yeah, Slaughter. Easy kill for him.
He's like dabbing, right? He's not even like hands on mouse and keyboard anymore. He's like, I survived that. Shield crash, reasonable spell. And then instantly just Slaughter there to end that happiness in his life. They do at least get Moo out though. And so far, Moo's doing a decent job of keeping these split pushes going, right? The Summon Wolves has definitely helped a lot with the Ag Shard. And with the big dopey Granite Golem down here, they might even end up getting a tier 2.
Yeah, that's looking like that's very possible. Fortification being used, but Wolf is dead, and never mind. The tier 2 going to stay alive for the time being. Chrysalis down here going to try to kill this Golem. And he'll get the 250. Nice.
Yes, this line. Just, it's okay. He's got Ag Shot. He made them waste an extra 2 seconds. Oh, man. Man, I don't know, like Ag Shard, I feel like I've talked to a few lines and they kind of feel split on whether they really like it or not. Like the idea of Spell Immune is nice, but at the same time you can't do anything, right? It's cool if you can find a way to use it to bridge the gap until your stuns come off cooldown though.
Well, Z-Freak putting the investment into it this game, and again, we talked about that blank he managed to get, so certainly a nice goal for him to have as well, but a lot more needs to take place for now. And 4-player smoke is an attempt at one here at the bottom lane. They really want this tier 2 tower. They have the Ancient Ice Shaman now to help assist getting killed, and they will kill it in the end. So
am I the only one who finds this to be the most like intimidating Ancient in the game?
Like the look of it, yeah.
Yeah, like, and the way it swings. I'm not sure if it's just like I'm numb because I've seen the others for so long. There is just something about this Ice Shaman that it reminds me of, you know what it is? It reminds me of like Labyrinth game mode things that you have to dodge. I'm like, I don't want to be near this. And it has a bomb, you know? Anything that has a bomb, I don't want to be near. Oh my god, speaking of explosions.
Ouch. Yeah, I'm dying, that's... he dead. What are we looking at with Roshan? 4 seconds before the yellow timer.
Why? I mean, it's so contradictory when we say that an Undying's dead. Like, how can you be dead? You know? That's like calling yourself Superman and then being underwhelming.
There's a lot of things like that in these games where you just Don't overthink it. Just accept that it's fact. And it happened.
Oh, you never like doing that? Just like questioning the fiber of the game's beings, right?
The fantasy video game that we're playing? No, I don't. It's like, it's fun. It's supposed to be. There's some crazy shit.
Like, you know, if Nyx gets silenced, what does he say? Can he ever say anything again? You can only say Nyx, so that's not a deep one. Actually, I am kind of curious. I don't, you know, this is the details we need. Everyone's asking for things for Valve. I still don't fully understand why Nyx only says Nyx.
It's a Pokemon. That's his lore. He's
oh,
from
now
another
that
universe.
I like that, Breaky. He's a rejected Pokemon design, which is actually difficult these days because they really set the standard low with ice cream Pokemon.
There's a lot of them out there, yeah.
Well, speaking of bug Pokemon, found the Lycan. Will force the shapeshift, but the stun comes out straight away. Full stuff to get him out. One more tap, and he would have been mincemeat.
Nyx Assassin instead is the mincemeat, yeah. Good get away from Moo. And Gunner, swashbuckle, Lotus Orb, immediately falls back though. Lion, he's dead.
Moo.
They got the tombstone on the high ground once again, but Nisha, he did his job already, or at least the early part of it. And he's morphing into that drow.
Yep. Hey, that was actually very close. He almost killed Moo. Moo barely got out on about 90 health, courtesy of the Assault Cuirass. You know, usually these Wolfskis fight with no armor, but he wouldn't make that mistake, not up against this much physical damage.
He's gonna have a blink soon as well, level 20. Waveform now attacks targets. And here's Roshan.
Oh, well, let's... So I was about to say, what's the way back in for Nouns? And not gonna lie, with this in hand now, the way back may be game 2 short of a miracle. This upcoming fight is incredibly difficult now. Aegis goes on to the Morph. You've got Cheese on the Slardar. In an ideal world, if Nouns can somehow pop Rezo for free, great. But he's so tanky with a BKB as well. I don't see this being a free kill. How the buybacks looking? Oh. I guess they got that going for them. But it's like, the issue I do see for Nouns is outside of the Drow and maybe like Lion, that their buybacks aren't that valuable, right?
Oh, this Pango. He's going to have to very defensively pop his Rolling Thunder and go for the...
Oh, no!
Not good. The bash procs connect, and he's just dead. The TP play ain't working there, so Slaughter. So Chrysalis, good find. I started with Puppy finding him initially, and CK again. I know it. We're not usually supposed to be ones to say that a game's over, but it's. Let's be honest. There really isn't much Nouns can do here. It feels like in terms of holding this off.
Just look at the positives, right? We've seen some animal abuse here. Pangos have been abused. Bugs have been abused. Innocent neutrals have been abused. At least this game's likely to end before Hawks can be abused as well, because there's no Ag Shard yet on Beastmaster.
Could be coming. Nah, he's not going to.
Nah. I think this game's going to end before that. Look what Slardar's doing in the mid lane. All on his lonesome.
Kill onto the Lion, the lockdown for resolution. Then he finds Lycan, uses that proper roar, and Lycan cannot move as a result. He's out for 50. Lion did buy back that tombstone. Going to be the next target eventually. Kill it out, plus 200, going the way of Enchantress, believe it or not. Here comes Rolling Thunder in, but the BKB from Nisha. He's the Drow now, just beats down the Pango, forces him to fall back. Backdoor protection, anything stopping him. It eventually wears off in tier 3. It's dead as well, so now it's throwing everything at the side of Secret, attempting to stop them, despite Carapace full stun. That's ability way back there, but it essentially is a free set of racks for Secret. And we talk about discipline, well, I think it's getting to the point where they could just sit here and push in the base, and again, Nouns really can't stop it.
Yeah, they're going to get the glyph to reset, but right now, I think the more interesting thing to try and predict is whether this game is going to have more thousands of net worth advantage for Secret than minutes pass, because we're getting very close to that point. 32,000 up at the 35-minute mark.
That's pretty high up there. That's pretty good. And you know what, Secret? I'm talking about how they could just easily finish this game now. Feels like, again, maybe they are more disciplined than I was even giving them the credit for them. So they're gonna retreat. They're gonna resume farming their own jungle, getting those next tier items that I figure is important. I guess Morphling wants to finish that Swift blink, and it's coming, so got at least the blink dagger part of it.
It's the classic evolution of Dota, right? Like, there used to be days where teams would have went back in for that second set of racks, but teams just understand. After you just take one lane alone, you have so much gold fresh in the bank. Just back off, get your next items coming again. And from Team Secret's perspective, it makes a lot of sense to play composed. I mean, sure, they're dominating, but they didn't dominate the regionals. They're here in the last chance qualifiers. So treat every single team with the correct amount of respect. But there's no respect for this drought. Oh my god!
See ya. And that's exactly what we've been talking about as far as the potential throughout this whole game. If they can jump drought, which they have all the tools to do so, she will just evaporate. And we see that there. Now, that hasn't happened a lot this game, to be fair. In fact, that's the first death for Costumbility, but it finally does happen. And that really does feel like that should be the nail in the coffin now. But below, they're pushing the tier 3, but meanwhile,
oh my god,
gets picked up in the back lanes, but Slardar is just on fire now.
4 heroes! Slardar came to play. Just like that, it feels like you can't fight anymore. Sure, you can take out a beast on his own with your whole team, but when Papa Chrysalis comes a-calling, you better get running.
So with 3 players dead on the side of Nouns. Again, Secret, they still have an Aegis. They got the T's working into the base, going for the top set of racks. You got Nietzsche up here. He's going to be joined by his next assassin. They take out Pango. And I think game number 2 is in the making here of this series, because I'm guessing Secret is going to be going 1-0. Well, Nouns, okay. Well, maybe I called it too soon. They're hanging into the bitter end.
They're like, I've had worse experiences. I've been playing in NA for years. You think this is bad? I'm only getting started. Okay, scrap that. That is chalked. There's no way anymore. They still won't call it, but man, what an absolute dominant showing. Secret, I didn't get a chance to catch the earlier series from Nouns, but so far they've been unable to take a game, and I am very much struggling to see a way they're going to take a game in this series.
Well, you know, it starts with the draft, right? The fresh draft, I do feel like Secret outdrafted pretty hard here against Nouns. And already a team that's going to be difficult to beat, even if you have some way, somehow, an outdraft against them. When you get outdrafted yourselves, it's not, you're really limiting your chances, right? So Secret kind of, you know, led their way to success here in game 1, starting with that. But yeah, we're in that overtime phase. I guess we're playing for stats now, and I'm not sure. And Nouns is
like, is this endurance training? Because I feel like this is confidence building for Secret. GG's finally called, but goodness, Nouns,
now they call it.
I guess don't call it until it's done, but there's a difference between making sure that your steak is well cooked and making sure it's burned.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously it's up to the teams in the end, and I will say part of it could have been, in cases like that, Nouns, speaking of the draft, using that time, because there is only so much time as far as the break goes and everything, to maybe start talking it over, right? They're talking about what went wrong here in game 1, what we can prepare for.